Hey everybody, this is Tammy at All About Living, and today we're having fried pork chops, turnips and potatoes, and skillet cabbage. We're making the mashed potatoes and turnips, which is a twist. You know, you get tired of just having mashed potatoes, mashed potatoes, mashed potatoes. Throw you a few turnips in there and it changes the flavor. It is just so good. And Randy loves it. My kids half my kids love it, the other half don't. So, you know, it's kind of hit and a miss, but you really ought to try it. Okay, we're going to get these cut up. Now, I've already cleaned them. You know, turnips have like purple and white, and they have a skin really similar to potatoes. And what you want to do is peel that off, but I've already done it. Now we're just going to cut it just exactly like you would a potato, except they're a little harder. Not much, but they are a little tougher to cut. But you're going to cut them just like you would a potato to make mashed potatoes. Okay, now we're going to cut up our potatoes just like you would normally cut a potato. Okay, now we're going to get them in the pot. Okay, here we go. Going to get them all in the pot and get that started, because that's actually the thing that's going to take the longest. Now we're going to add water, just enough to cover them. And we're going to put a couple of teaspoons of salt in there while they cook. I'm going to get the lid on there and turn that eye on to high. Okay, we eat a lot of cabbage. It's high in vitamins. It's good. I mean, it's really good for you. And at this point in time, you can still afford it. So it's like high on our priority list. It's low in carbs, so it works perfect in a keto diet. And it just tastes good. And so we eat a lot of cabbage. So I understand I've already showed you how to cook cabbage several ways, but I'm going to keep showing you how to cook cabbage because it is so beneficial, so affordable, and it's good. And you might learn something. So, next recipe, skillet cabbage. Here we go. Okay, the main three things you're going to need is some red onions or white. I just happen to have red. Some carrots and some cabbage. And I only need, you know, that's a lot of cabbage for us. And we're having those potatoes and turnips, so that's plenty. You adjust for how many you're feeding. Now you want to cut this cabbage really fine. You know, sometimes I tell you to chunky monkey it, and sometimes I tell you to grate it. Well, this time, we're going to cut it really fine. That looks like plenty. Now, I'm going to grate these carrots. Get that lit. I'm going to let my pan get hot. I'm going to put about a third of a stick of butter. Let's get it right. You hear that sizzle? My pan's good and hot. And we're just going to let that melt. We're going to start with our cabbage. And we're just going to drop it all in there. Make sure you kind of open it up. Okay, now I'm going to get my carrots in there. knife for that. Alright, now we've got our onions in there, and we're going to salt this up. And 2 teaspoons of salt. We're going to get the lid on it. And we're just going to let it cook. Let it simmer. Okay, and we're going to get this one, this high turned on to a medium high. That's high. Okay, we're going to turn that down to a medium high. And we're going to let that pan get good and hot. Okay, my potatoes and turnips are fork tender. I've got the water all drained out. I'm going to put another 1/3 of a stick of butter in there. And then we're going to mash them up. And you can mash them. You can mash them to death, or you can just mash them a little bit. I tend to just mash a little bit. It's a texture thing. There we go. Got that in there. Got them mashed. I'm going to have Randy do a taste test and see if they need salt. Hot. Oh, he says they're good. So all I need to do is sprinkle some of this good pepper in there. And that's a preference thing. You can put as much or as little or none. We're going to stir. We're just going to get that stirred up. All I want to do, make sure my butter's all melted and all through it. And make sure that pepper's all through it. I'll put that lid back on it and keep it warm. And it is done. That is done and ready for dinner. Okay, now we're going to give that cabbage that's just been sitting there steaming a stir. Now we're going to get that lid back on it and just let it keep steaming. Okay, now we're going to get our pork chops ready to fry. Get them out of this. Get them out of this child-proof plastic. We're going to salt. And we're going to pepper. We're going to flip it. We're going to salt it. We're going to pepper. Okay. We're going to take some all-purpose flour that I keep in a bag just for breading. And I'm going to drop it in. I'm going to put it over here where you can see me. And I'm going to liberally flour that. And then I'm going to shake off the excess. Okay, my pan is good and hot, and you'll know that when I hit it with this lard. That's a good tablespoon. That's another good tablespoon, and that's going to be plenty. Now this grease is good and hot. See that? I want that sizzle, and I want that to get crunchy on the outside and tender on the inside. Okay, my granny always said when the blood starts coming to the top and the outside starts looking yucky, that's what she called it, yucky. If it wasn't perfect and pretty, it was yucky. That was time to flip. So that's what we're going to do now. We're just going to flip that. Yep, that's exactly right. It's nice and brown on the outside. Okay, I'm starting to get a little blood back up on the top of that pork chop. That means I need to flip it again. Okay, your potatoes are savory and your cabbage is sweet, and it's just a perfect combination. All right, fellas, if you like what you saw, hit that bell notification so you know whenever I drop a video, and y'all have a wonderful evening. Bye.